Major support has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, Edison International, Valley Strong Credit Union, California Resources Corporation, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, and the Kern High School District. With additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.
So back in the day, it came in orange and green, and shag was a big thing. What am I talking about? I'm not talking about hair, I am talking about carpet. We are here at Carpet Outlet Plus. We're here with Jennifer, and we are going to talk a lot about not only carpet, but there's a plus attached to that. Tell me about that.
So we started out with selling carpet and a few other things like linoleum, back in the day is what it was known as. That's actually the technical name for it, and vinyl. We got into some laminates and got into hardwoods. Now the new biggest thing is luxury vinyl plank. So it's a waterproof vinyl plank that people are putting in homes because of our pets. A lot of us have dogs and cats and kids, and so we have to worry about the wet, moisture issues, dirty paws, dirty feet, things like that. So it's a little easier to upkeep, and then we still have our good old-fashioned carpet for bedrooms and things like that if they desire.
Very good. Okay, so the showroom is extensive. It's very exciting to look around and see all of the different products that you have. So let's maybe wander just a little bit and see some stone and some tile. We're on all in this area. What is kind of some of the biggest selling right now? And tell me why.
So some of the biggest selling products that we have would be the what you see on the floor here. So when you walk in our showroom, you're going to walk in on luxury vinyl plank. So that's, the biggest portion, I would say, of our business. As we go this direction, we go out into this big warehouse, which is full of carpeting, and that's a whole nother section of our store.
Okay, so I know obviously that you don't just come in with plank and just throw it down on the floor. There's a lot that goes into this. Why don't you tell us about it?
We measure the areas. I personally draw diagrams, so I use a tool which is called a laser.
Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to go look at how you do your measurements, right? You're going to show us
around?
Yeah. Awesome,
I'll
great.
show you.
So you were talking to us about how to measure a room, so we're going to have you go ahead and measure this space. Nice example.
Okay. So what I use is called a laser. So I used to use a tape measure back in the day, years ago. I've been doing this for over 25 years, so I'm pretty long term at this. So I started using this, and it's a laser, so we just basically turn this little thing on, the little button here, and I'm going to put it, because it starts to measure from the very back of the device, and I put it on a wall, and I aim that beam at another area, which would be this. Say I want to put it at the wall over here. So once it's on that wall and you see the beam hit it, I push the button. It's going to then read how many feet that was and inches, and so that is 17 feet 6 inches from wall to wall. Okay. And then I'm going to write that measurement down. I draw a diagram myself. Sure. Some people will just write, if it's one room, I'll just write the room down, but when it's a whole house like I normally am doing, I will. So I'm starting the beam again. It's very, very simple to use. 19 feet 9 inches. So this is the easy part of the math.
Okay, so my question is, does it already auto-calculate for you how long the tool itself is, so that you're not having, okay, that's nice, so you're not having to add?
Yeah, because it'll start the measurement from back here, but there's a lot of different things on here, but it's worn off.
Okay.
There's actually other programs on here that work for cubic feet and cubic yards and concrete. There's all kinds of different things that this device will do, but it's very handy for us in our field, and so we just stick with feet and inches. That's all we need.
Very nice.
And then we convert it into square footage, and then that square footage converts into square yardage. So we have a couple different formulas that we have to go through to get to that.
Sure, of course, yes, because you're having to convert your linear to your square footage.
Correct.
Yeah, okay, absolutely.
Every once in a while you'll get people that'll tell you the square yardage wrong because they think that they're supposed to divide by 3, and to get a square yard, there's 9 square feet in 1 square yard. 17 foot 6 inches times 19 feet 9 inches equals what that number is, divide that by 9, and that gives you how many square yards you need.
Right.
In carpet, it's a whole nother formula because we have to figure out, okay, just because it's 17 and a half by 19 foot 9 doesn't mean I can sell them exactly that square footage. we have to do a conversion based on the width of the roll. The roll is 12 foot wide most of the time, not all the time, but the most common is a 12 foot wide roll. So now I have to do more math because now that room's 17.5 foot wide, but that roll is 12 foot wide of that 17.5. So I've got a mathematical formula into how to figure that, how much goes there.
Right, and we're going to see carpet next, I believe, in our next segment.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, fantastic. Well, thanks. We'll stick around and look at some carpet. Okay, so now that we've finished measuring the room, and I know that this is not obviously that room, but this is what an entire house might look like right here is this entire diagram. Okay, so this is, and you said that this was flooring. This was all flooring, this particular diagram.
That particular one's I measured it all for luxury vinyl planks, so it's all a square footage type of deal, but you can convert that any way you want. If the people said, hey, I don't want vinyl plank in my son's room anymore, he wants carpet because he wants to be more comfortable, or he likes to lay on the floor. Easy, I can just take that measurement and take that conversion and change it into carpet.
And come on out here to carpet, yeah.
And then I figure, okay, we got lots of carpet to choose from. I mean, we got over 500 rolls out here. This is where the carpet rolls, they're 12 foot wide I was talking about. And then so if I've got that big 17.5 foot area, I've got 1.5 of these almost that I need to cover by the length of the room.
Right, so that's where a lot of cutting comes in. We start doing a lot of cutting, and of course you want to measure twice, cut once. I know that rule, right?
Yes, we learned that a long time ago.
You've been doing that for, what'd you say, 25 years?
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and see.
This is Jeff Hughes, he's our sales manager, and he is really good at the other parts of math.
The other parts of math. I feel like I'm being set up.
All right,
okay, the other parts of math are?
This is the new math. This is new math right here. No, just kidding. All right, nice to meet you. We're going to talk about carpet. Walk us through the process with cutting the carpet, getting it prepped, ready to go.
Sure. So we come out, we find something for a customer, pick this roll up or use one out of the back, take it to a cutting machine that we have in the back and cut the linear footage to what we need, because we've already converted it from square yards to linear footage in order for them to cut it on the machine. We sell it square yards, but we have to cut it linear foot. So the factors of 3, 9 come into play a lot when we're cutting carpet and installing carpet, because of the fill pieces that you'll need in order to do the job, which we call overage. They have to understand that square foot converts to square yard. A lot of times people think square foot sounds cheaper, because something that sounds that's $4 a square foot sounds a lot more inexpensive than something that is $36 a square yard. So, but math is math. It always comes out the same.
Absolutely. I suppose advertising math maybe is a little different, but as far as installation, it's completely the same.
Correct. Absolutely correct.
All right. Are you going to show us the cutting tool? Were we going to see that?
Let's go see it.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, so here we are out at the cutting machine, and you were explaining a whole lot of math a little bit ago. So let's go ahead and kind of talk back through that again.
Okay, so to simplify it is this way. So we come up, after we've measured someone's house, we have to come up with the square yards that it takes to do their house. By converting each room size, dividing it by the number 9, because 9 square feet is 1 square yard. That's a very important thing in the next part of this cutting process right here. And how we get square yards out of linear feet. So when we come out here on the machine and we've given Juan a number, 86 yards or 85 yards or 105 yards, and it takes 4 quarters to make a hole, 12 being a hole in this case because carpet is 12 foot wide. You would take 0.25, which is a quarter, and you would multiply that times the square yards, and that will convert it to your linear footage for you.
Got you.
So,
okay.
I hope that made sense. I'm not great at explaining it, but I think it worked.
That's okay.
So now Juan is cutting, and he's going to convert this linear footage in from the square yards that he has for this work order right here.
Okay, so then right here it's showing us, what is this showing us? This is showing us linear feet?
That's showing you linear feet.
All right.
And once he gets to his desired length, you'll see a very sharp razor come up and cut this carpet very cleanly.
Okay.
When we install carpet in a room that's bigger than 12 feet both ways, then we have to account for fill pieces.
Okay.
So the standard on a fill piece would be 3 pieces to make up the length of one of the lengths of a wall.
Okay.
And that'll be a 3-piece seam. So we would take the length of that room, divide it by 3, and make that cut in addition to the linear footage of the room that we have already.
So
Why?
so we might get into that into our next segment, I
Okay.
think. So let's save that for the next
Perfect.
round. We were talking about carpet, we got that cut, but
Yeah.
now we're talking about installing. So we're out in another warehouse and we've got padding.
We have padding, so, well, if you buy carpets, you want to buy pad, and you want to buy good pad. If you'll notice, pad is sold 6 foot wide as opposed to 12 foot wide like carpet is. So you have to do the math on that as well. Double 6, you get 12. So really you're just doubling the amount of linear footage of pad in order to accommodate the linear footage of carpet and or square yards of carpet.
Okay.
Same concept.
I do have a quick question. I know that carpet has to be stretched.
Yes.
So does padding get stretched too, or it just is what it is?
Great question. Padding does not get stretched.
Okay.
Padding is within the boundaries of tack strip that has to go down in order to hold the carpet down. So it's actually glued down,
Okay.
and then the carpet goes over the tack strip and then under your baseboard,
So that
which I
measurement's
think
a
Jen's
little-
going to cover a little bit. in
Okay, so
baseboard.
that's a little bit different. But
It is.
let's head this direction then, and we'll see some of your harder surfaces, because we did talk about how that is measured differently. Tell us how we measure this and what we need to do with it.
Right, and so hard surface, and I think Jen's going to jump in here and start talking about hard surface as well, is measured. You go in and measure a room, and if it's a 14 by 14 room for carpet, it's still a 14 by 14 room for hard surface, but there's a different way in order to determine how much product you need in order to have a proper install. So I'm going to let Jen take you through that, and
All right.
hard surface
Thank you
for
so
Jen.
much. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
You bet, guys.
Okay, go for
So
it.
I would just say, like, if we could show the
Sure,
diagram,
absolutely.
maybe,
Yeah, you
show
wanna
them.
have that again?
So, like, this is a house that I measured, and I'd come into somebody's house and I actually draw to the best of my ability. I'm not a professionally trained at this, but I taught myself this. This is basically a floor plan of somebody's home, so it's basically architectural style, just the floor plan itself. So you come in the entryway. Say that they have 2 kids. Say they got a boy and a girl. Let's just make an example. Coming down this hallway, I've got here's bedroom number 2, we call it, because master bedroom is always bedroom 1 for me. So bedroom 2, and then I come down this hallway, and here's the girls' room, bedroom 3. Say that the mom and dad said, oh, we're going to put hard surface in here, we're going to do vinyl plank. And then they come back to me, a couple days later, they go, we changed our mind. We want to go ahead and put carpet in, Douglas's room because he likes to sit on the floor and, play his games or whatever. And we want to put carpet in, Allison's room, let's say, because Allison likes to sit on the floor and read her books or whatever the reason may be,
Sure,
or they
so
want it
you
warmer.
you could just
so I
change
can
that
easily
out.
take that conversion and take that square footage
Sure.
and convert that into square yardage and make that a carpet, measurement.
So the question I have though, so I know when you're laying flooring, you want to keep everything kind of going in the same direction. So is that hard to figure with something like this as far as like how many pieces you're going to need, or?
Carpet is directional, so carpet does have to run the same way, or else you have, something going this way versus something going this way, and it's grain against grain. So grain against grain will give you the optical illusion, let's say, of 2 different colors visually. So, and then on hard surface flooring, it's all connected, either by a tongue and groove locking system, or a click system, or a tongue and groove without a lock system if it's certain woods and things like that. But it's still a directional product, and it needs to just go one direction, or it would need to be broken up, and directions change and sometimes require
But
extra moldings.
does that change? That doesn't change any of your measurements.
It
though,
can.
it's just strange.
If you change dimensions on something, it definitely can change the square footage. It can cause you to use more waste, because we usually use a waste factor of, say, around 6 or 7% for a house, typically.
Well, I thank you so much.
Yeah,
we are
for
just
sure.
so grateful to have you. And
Thank you.
let us give you this as
thank
having us out here for Do the Math.
Thank
We're
you.
so
I
grateful.
appreciate that. I do.
And
Appreciate
we
that.
were talking about that earlier, about your jingle. Everybody knows the jingle.
I think everybody knows our jingle.
Everybody knows
Even
the
little
jingle.
ones.
So So can you sing it with me?
I would rather not sing.
All right, we'll quit there.
I don't want to make everybody get scared and run away.
You're fine. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Have a great night.
Okay, thank you.